Hey everybody, today is Tuesday of Holy Week, and today's gospel gets us into the Last Supper scene in John's gospel, and ends with kind of an interesting question where Peter promises and is his enthusiasm to follow Jesus wherever he goes. And Jesus asks the question which we all maybe need to deal with. He says, will you lay down your life for me? And that's a conversation well worth entering into in our own prayer or in our Lectio Divina or whatever it might be. But you know, what's striking to me about that in a particular way is we might see in this exchange Peter's enthusiasm and his being destined to be flawed in his efforts to live that enthusiasm out. And in that there's much with which we can relate. But Jesus accepts it. You know, he takes Peter and his promises, aware of his inability to totally live those promises out. Hans Urs von Balthasar talks about the dynamic we see in Peter being the dynamic of the church, that exaltation and humiliation, exaltation to office or authority that Peter holds, and his humiliation, those things always come side by side. And so it is with us, you know, we're exalted and humiliated at the same time. We're full of faith and full of doubt, great enthusiasm, and also real trepidation. And yet, Peter doesn't get ousted from office, and we ourselves don't become unchosen. The call to discipleship is not a call to walk flawlessly. It's a call to be as wholehearted as we can with God's grace. And I'm always struck, you know, as I get to the end of Lent, I'm aware of all the commitments that didn't materialize and all the efforts that I had intended to make, which I didn't. And I might say, well, I failed in my Lenten practice. But there's a part of me believes that that's kind of the point of Lent. We discover through making promises and not completely fulfilling them that we're not God. And that kind of incomplete endeavor brings us home to the right disposition.